There was a moment I didn't recognize myself. Nothing dramatic happened. Nothing visible changed. The day moved forward the way it always did. People talked. Time passed. Everything followed its usual rhythm, but something felt slightly off. Not enough to stop me. Not enough to make me worry. Just enough to stay with me. I still did the same things. Woke up at the same time. Went where I needed to go. Answered when someone spoke to me. From the outside, nothing was missing. Everything looked normal, but inside, there was a distance I couldn't explain. It wasn't sadness, and it wasn't exhaustion. There was no clear reason to feel different. That was what made it uncomfortable. When something hurts, you can usually point to it. There is a cause, a moment, a reason. This had none of that. It had no shape, no weight, no name, just a quiet sense that I wasn't fully there. I noticed it in small moments, in conversations where I responded automatically but felt detached from my own words, in laughter that sounded right but arrived a moment too late, in silence that didn't feel calm, just empty. I kept asking myself if I was imagining it, if I was paying attention to something that didn't matter, but the feeling stayed, not strong, not overwhelming, just consistent, like background noise you only notice once everything else fades. Days passed, nothing changed on the surface, but I became more aware of how much effort it took to feel present, how often I was there without really being there. How often my body showed up while my thoughts stayed somewhere else. I noticed it while walking. Familiar streets, familiar sounds, familiar movement. Everything around me kept flowing forward, and I followed. But it felt like I was watching myself from a slight distance, close enough to function, too far away to feel connected. I noticed it while waiting in lines, waiting for replies, waiting for moments to pass. Time didn't slow down. If anything, it felt like it moved faster, as if I was slightly behind it, trying to keep up. I noticed it in quiet places, rooms I had been in many times before, spaces that once felt grounding. They looked the same, but I felt like a visitor in them, present but not anchored. At first, I tried to ignore it. I told myself it would pass, that it was just a phase, a mood, a temporary distance, something I didn't need to look at too closely. But the more I tried to move past it, the clearer it became. Not louder, just more noticeable. Like a thought that returns when you stop distracting yourself. I tried to explain it, mostly to myself. I searched for reasons. Routine, noise, lack of rest, too much movement. They all sounded reasonable. None of them felt true. Eventually, I stopped trying to fix it. Not because I understood it, but because I didn't. And maybe that was the first honest response. I realized that not every feeling arrives with an explanation. Some moments are not meant to be solved. They don't ask for clarity. They don't ask for action. They don't ask to be turned into something useful. They simply exist. And sometimes noticing them is enough. So I let the feeling stay. I didn't label it. I didn't push it away. I didn't try to turn it into meaning. I allowed it to exist without interference, without forcing an answer, without expecting a conclusion. And slowly, it became quieter, not gone, just softer. I still don't fully recognize who I was in that moment, and I don't think I need to. Some things don't return to what they were. They don't resolve. They don't explain themselves. They settle. That moment, the one where I didn't recognize myself, it didn't disappear. It became part of me, unexplained, unresolved, but finally acknowledged. And that was enough. Even after that, The feeling didn't completely disappear. It just stopped demanding attention. It stayed in the background, quiet, almost unnoticeable. Not something I needed to think about anymore, but something I was aware of, like a presence that no longer needed words. I noticed how different that felt. Not lighter, not heavier, just steadier, as if something inside me had finally found its place without needing to be understood. There were moments when I expected it to return stronger than before, but it didn't. It stayed subtle, contained, no longer something I had to respond to. And that changed the way I moved through things. I stopped checking in on myself so often, stopped asking if I felt the right way, or enough, or anything at all. I let days unfold without measuring them against how present I was. Some days felt distant, others didn't. And for the first time, that difference didn't matter. I realized how much energy I had spent trying to define what I was feeling, trying to give it a shape that made sense. Letting go of that didn't solve anything, but it gave me space. Space to exist without explanation, space to move forward without clarity. And that felt surprisingly natural. I didn't return to who I was before. I didn't become someone new either. I simply continued with something added, something quiet, something unresolved, but no longer heavy. And maybe that's how some moments are meant to stay. Not answered, not fixed, just carried.